Okay, alt outlook. So essentially, we did the Bitcoin outlook, the market outlook for the week. I would check that out, and then you can kind of see why or what I'm looking for in the alts in a general scale. But then let's cover some of the main alts I'm looking at, and just very quickly go over what to look at. Um, so JTO, I covered this for the most part. There was a reclaim of the level, nice long. Already took some profits. The minimum level I'm trying to reach 2.6, 3.4, depending on the strength it shows and what Bitcoin does. I will hold this position up even to 4.6. Yeah, it had a lot of hype, I think, in this period. So what we're looking for is that hype to continue essentially. And yeah, there's nice liquidity. There's liquidity above here. Oops. Right, there's liquidity right there. There's liquidity above these highs. Right, there's a lot of liquidity to be grabbed still. So that gives me a lot of hope for 3.4. But I think if we reach 3.4, it's going to be like a Pyth type of chart, which we'll also cover, where we just continue up. Ondo, similar thing. Longed it here, took profits here, somewhere near the top. And then as it retraced back into this order block, longed it back. And now we're still rallying on that. Ondo is one of those real world assets coins that for me, I'm going to continue to hold on, even if it's a perps long, just because I think 0.3 is highly likely, let alone something like this where you have some type of T chart where we just see, $1 or something on this, and we just see some crazy rally, which because of the real world asset narrative driving it, I wouldn't be surprised on that. Dimension dim, I think it's a clean chart. It's just right here support at about 7. If we can continue to hold on to that, this is a nice long position to take. Yeah, some of these are just drawings, by the way, where some of these I'm actually in, others are just drawings of where I would consider a long, with some of them low risk, some of them high risk, but this is a very nice chart. Astra, I think it's a great chart. It's just that we're consolidating up here, but I'm assuming it's going to be some type of Caspa type of chart. If you remember Caspa a few months ago, it had something like this. And then as things were kind of like consolidating or not doing much, it just fucking ripped, I think, another 140% or something. And on the daily, this just doesn't scream top signal to me, right? So somewhere up here, which would be the highs of here, 0.3, something like that would be a great level to take profits. Now, I'm not swinging for the fences, so I'm obviously risk managing and making sure that like you take profits along the way, these type of things, because I think swinging for the fences in a market like this where Bitcoin's at 50K is not going to be the ultimate game plan unless you're spot buying some of these charts. Some of them I wouldn't, but something like Ondo, JTO, even Dimensions, you could. I'm not, but you could. TRB, I'm kind of expecting TRB to be something like what it did here. Well, of course, reaching 400 or 500, whatever it reached, is a little bit insane. But something like this with a deviation under, and then now just looking to get this liquidity up here at the very minimum. And then you kind of have this range set up that we can break through. So that's more or less the game plan here. If you see on the 4 hour, took the liquidity up here. I don't see a reason why we wouldn't be able to reach up here. Front low liquidity coin, I'm just expecting one of these moves, and then you see something like this. This was the area I got in first, added more here. I don't like particularly sharing my positions all the time, but that is one of my positions. And TIA here is just an idea as well, where with the reclaim of this, I would like to long here, but you can see if I did, hypothetically speaking, long here, that we're already down 50%. But I like the idea, right, where we kind of have this new all-time high break over here, break down under this order block or breaker, Burj Khalifa back onto it, and now holding it. So if we continue to hold this, I can definitely see this ripping to 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. It really doesn't matter. This thing can just fucking rip once it rips. So Manta, another just drawing. So about half of these are actual positions. The other half are just ideas. Manta, I wanted it to hold this order block really badly and flip it, right, with a kind of like pennant into it, which would just set up perfectly for a long position to all-time highs. The issue is it also looks like a bear flag, and when I was looking for the position, I was actually in since here, and then as this kind of was tightening up and this broke down, I cut over here for a good profit, whatever that is. So that's kind of how I managed this position, but now I'm still looking like if we can reclaim this or find a long somewhere down in a great area, which this is a relatively decent area in my opinion. Once we do kind of break over this order block or breaker here, we can definitely see this thing rip. So I'd be looking out for Manta. Blur I've been talking about a while. I was talking about a lot down here where if we reclaimed it, I would long it. Haven't found a good position yet, but this thing is ripping. So I would definitely be looking out for something like this, where if we come back down to this trend line once more, that you can find a long position at this about 0.64 area. So it comes down to, with alts, it comes down to longing strength. So dips, if you find a dip on something, try to long strength. So we have another few very strong ones here, which includes Big Time, which I was trying to get long over here, which was a great position after this breakdown of this kind of trend line that continued the downwards momentum, where I would consider here, I would have considered long. I never took one. Well, I did, but it was a tiny one, where I would kind of be looking to find a nice position if this does want to come back to like the range highs or mid-range or something like this, right? This has a lot of upwards potential, so I'd be looking at that. Pyth, I was trying to long down here. I've been speaking about it a while, fundamentally and technically, how nice the chart is. I would definitely, here at all-time highs, essentially look for a dip to buy. So if we find a dip, this is going to be a great buy. It can definitely rip. Beam, this was an amazing long, posted in a Telegram chat right down there. I took profits at here and over here, and I'm currently fully out, but this is an amazing chart to continue to find strength in and long dips. Just a great chart. And then WorldCoin, phenomenal chart overall. All-time highs previously here. Came back into it, held the all-time highs, ripped, set up a nice order block here if you want to take some profits. So we're going to see some resistance here. Then again, came back to all-time highs, still retesting it, still holding it, and now continuing to rip. So we're going to see how it reacts here. If it comes back into here, again, long dips is kind of the whole story here, right? So the narrative driving this entire video is going to be long dips on a bunch of these alts. So this is the main strong ones. There's some strong things in between here too that I'm not going to go over, since these are my main positions that I'm very interested in. But here's some stuff too. You can kind of see that this entire chart thing, these are all stronger relatively, and they've been selected weeks ago, but you can see that these are all stronger than these on a relative scale. So that's why they're in this big scam list rather than scam list. Yeah, that's essentially, that covers most of everything. Most of these charts are covered about what to look at. So there's very little to say for the rest. I think for the rest, just make sure you keep an eye out on the spaghetti chart, see what's showing strength, see what's showing weakness, and kind of long the strong ones on dips, and keep the shitty ones and the weak ones out of the rotation. Seeing a dip here, right, live. But yeah, that's essentially it. So those are the altcoins I'll be looking at, and good luck trading them. See what Bitcoin keeps doing. Don't be overzealous at a period like this with the potential of this kind of occurring. Right, so yeah, that covers most of everything. Check out the outlook. If you want to trade any of these alts that I've been looking at, they're all on Bybit. If you can't trade on Bybit because you're in the UK or some restricted country, WooX is another partner of mine. You can check WooX out with the link down below as well, and sign up there for a bonus. And on Bybit, the same thing. You'll get a bonus when you sign up. You get fees lowered, and that's essentially it. There's also a Telegram chat where I share live trades, where I share all that stuff down below. And finally, the Twitter, where there's so much info on there that you can probably keep scrolling on my Twitter for weeks and educate yourself completely. Okay, thank you.